Hello traders, doing a quick video regarding the indices. Now, I'm just going to do a video on ES, the indices, and the daily video will be done tomorrow, but I just wanted to make a quick video here detailing what I've been seeing in the last 2 weeks. Now, dumping into strength means as the price goes up, big players are dumping into the price going up. Now, I've always talked, dark pools are a piece of information. I use those as a piece of information. And one of the pieces of information is I've clearly said that the last time I seen this dumping into strength was in 2020 before COVID and in 2018. I remember this because I journal and I remember these patterns. And there's a lot of people in the community in the forum that also remember it. They've been, looking at dark pools for like 7-8 years now. Religiously every day, such as myself, the ones that signed up to and I talked to them regularly and they're like, yeah, this is it. And I even went back and looked at it, but it's good to journal. You get to remember things, but I just found it interesting. But the pivots, as many people know that, especially took in the course, the pivots are number one. The indicators are number one. Those dark pools are used as pieces of information. I don't know how many times I got to tell people this. I have a dark pools video on my YouTube video on how, and it explains dumping into strength. It explains buying the dips. It's how you utilize those dark pools with your existing strategy or whatever you use to accompany to look for probable trade setups. Now, I'm more of an intraday trader. So I turn on my computer, I look for setups, and I shut my computer down. Very rarely do I hold a position overnight, but I do have one now. Stuck a little bit, but I'm fine with it. I don't like this. I like to sleep at night. One other thing is there's a show that I did with that will be available tomorrow that I'll post. I did it last week, and I basically on the show I said I think they're dumping into strength. And now watching what I see coming out over the weekend here, especially looking at some insider trading, it was huge. So I wanted to know, where's this money coming from? Now, you got all these funds long, you got the CTAs are fully long. They're like to pick tops and bottoms, but there's just so much shares being dumped. I want to know what else is being used to push this price. And I think I know what it is. Basically, I'm going to get into it now. So first things first, let's talk charts and pivots. This was a setup. 4430 was extreme resistance that got defended multiple times and then bursted on the non-farm payrolls. And it just ran right over it, hit the L, took out the L, went to the B. Notice the L support, the B resistance. And right now, it's not just hit the upper band once, got defended. It hit it again. Just goes to show you on how lethal these bands are. Now, in a normal circumstance, considering the oscillator is in, it's like, been curling since here. And this is just tripping stop. So I do have a target of 46.43, 46.45. Thanks to Max in the trading community that had this chart 2 weeks ago, which I've been using as the bigger picture. But I think it comes down. It should breathe again to the L. I'm looking for a move to OPEX, probably to make a low. Look, it could even hit 44.30 again. And 46.45 is still intact. I'm thinking they're going to shake the tree hard here to trap more shorts, and this would produce a very nice pullback to 4,500 or 44.30. If I'm guessing, I don't know, guys. I need to see how the charts are every day. Speculating on where it's going to go now and in 2 weeks, that's like being a fortune teller. That's why you need to look at charts every day and chart so that you could provide your own roadmap on where you think the market's going to go overnight or in the morning. That's why I do daily videos every day for myself. And doing it for myself, I actually do it for members as well, because you need to do your homework. Remember, this is a job. If you're trading, you have to put time into your job. This is not just, listening to anybody else. This is listening to yourself. and the strategy that you have and the time that you have invested looking into price to see where you think it's going to go. But things can change on a dime, especially in this market. I think it hits 4,500. As many people know, the L pivots like to get it. It's just taking its sweet ass time. Or maybe they just wanted to give their buddies a nice helping hand. But it's at the top band. I think we're going to pull back to 4,500. From here, we could definitely bounce and hit the T. So basically, like OPEX, we can hit the L, which I think the low is going to be done on OPEX. And then, or just right before Christmas, I'm not kidding. And then right after Christmas, where that low volume is, they rocket ship it to January 3rd. That hits 46.45 and then disaster. That's what I think. The Christmas rally starts after Christmas. Maybe a low comes there or OPEX. I think it is. I think it does. I think that'll give a nice reset considering the move. And then right towards the end of the year, they ram it, which they always do, by the way. And then January, they could just puke it. They did that in 2018, by the way. January 3rd, do you remember? Just slaughter. Well, anyways, they have a budget meeting, I think, in February as well. So that's what I think. I think we're going to get a pullback. So if it gets below the B, we're most likely going to the L. And that would reset the oscillator. And we'll see what happens at the L. Like I said, it could even get to the A. And the upside's still intact. If this gets taken out with a close below, then destruction. Then we're hitting here. I still say we get here, though. I still say these two. When you see two peaks like this, they usually get hit. Kind of like these peaks, right? They'll get hit. Where's other two peaks? This still needs to get filled in this. So it could do it, I don't know, maybe next week or I think that's going to get into a breather. And then as it's going down, people will put their shorts just above here, you know, and then from here or here, it goes back up, trips these shorts because shorts provide liquidity for dark pools, institutions. That's why they trip the stops over 4,600. I said they're going to hunt stops over 4,600. That's a given. And they hunted them and they tripped them. And that's how you get this, which I'm going to bring up now. That's how you get this. Right here at 459, the 24th biggest SPY print since SPY's inception. 24th. That is absolutely massive. It's because there's a lot of stops here. They know that's how they get it. Institutions like hitting stops because there's liquidity there for them. And not just that. And by the way, that's a big tell here that, you know, look at the bottom, right? 2.4 million, but this one's absolutely massive, 4.5. I'm going to explain these moving forward of what I've been talking about in the last 2 weeks. So let's move forward now. So that's what I'm thinking. Now let's get into details on what transpired here. Number one, today, courtesy of bar chart, ExxonMobil, the board of directors, Jeffrey Ubben, sells his entire stake. His entire stake. He doesn't need 260 million. When these guys sell their entire stake, it means they know something. And ExxonMobil, they have a lot of connections, I can tell you that. Then, enough to make it the most sold stock by insiders this week. The most. You got NVIDIA in here. You got Meta in here. You got a lot of big boys in here. And it wasn't just these. It was across the board. So when I was saying 2 weeks ago, they're dumping into strength, how I came up with that is dark pools. Looking at these dark pools as long as we've been looking at them, as many people know, we've been following them for like 7 years now. You get to pick up on things, okay? And what I said was dumping into strength was here. If you look at the times here, 1600, at the end of the day and at the high of the day, 1600, 1600, 1600. These are every day. 1600, 1600, 1600, 16. Now look at this line, 1600. Well, that was intraday, which is huge. Yep, another. Remember what we're saying? The intraday is very weird. 1600, 1600 at the highs. Look at this line. And then you got one of these. This to me was a pattern of dumping dark pools at the end of the day with size. Anybody who's been looking at these for long enough, remember, it's a piece of information. You don't go short here right away. You don't. That's why I said they're dumping into strength. Keyword strength, meaning it can go higher and higher. But you need to utilize pivots in your indicators. All I'm saying is something's not right. Meaning one day overnight, it could circuit breaker. And you lose all these gains overnight. I've seen it. And, that's why I've been saying, if you're long, you're going to want to take profit along the way, move to entry, take profit along the way, right? And that's what you would do. Like for me, I've took a couple longs, but I'm intraday trading. I don't like to hold these positions overnight, but there comes a point where I'm like, this is a good setup to hook short. Now I got in early. I'm short at 45. What's my breaking? 45.55. So, and then I added. So I'm fine with it though. There's other areas where I could hedge. I have 2 accounts, but I attacked positions before, but I'm offsetting and taking intraday trades long as well, but I won't hold those overnight. That's just me. You can do whatever you guys want. That's just me. I like to sleep at night. But anyway, so this is like serious here. Like, look at this. Look at this wall. So, and now it hit the top of the band. So here's an example of how I was saying. So now what I was thinking is, where's this money coming from? Which I'm going to get to right now. So watch this. So I talked about this is November 28th, which was 4 days ago, where CTAs bought 95 billion worth. And as you can see here, I'm like, yeah, everybody talks about who's buying, but no one talks about who's selling. I like to look at both sides. And then when I seen those footprints, I'm like, who's dumping into this? This was reminding me of 2020 here. So there you go. Record amounts. And by the way, the CTAs were short in October at the bottom. And now they have their biggest position. But this is what bothers me. Now, I understand giving people money. I understand that via the stock market, QE basically. I understand. But when there's tricks involved, when Powell was speaking on Friday, I saw headlines going all over the place like Powell was hawkish and it didn't hurt the market. So what these retail people do is, look how bullish it is. This is going to new highs. I'm not selling, because those headlines that are coming out, no matter what Powell said he was hawkish, it didn't take the market down. And these people, no, I'm not going to sell. But while they're saying no, you got a historic week of insiders dumping. Do you understand? Now, if they're dumping millions and millions of shares, because they can't dump them all. There's no chance. They need some help. And if retail's dumping their stocks, it's like competition to them, and it makes it harder for them to dump their shares. So what a perfect script Friday. Powell was hawkish. This market's on fire. No way. This is going to rally to new highs. I'm not dumping. Do you see? Powell, he tried. It didn't come down. Believe me, if Powell wants to take this market down, it's one phone call. And this market's down. Vice versa. One phone call, this market's up. He didn't have to make a phone call, though. This is what they did. I got to, look, let me get into it here. I'm going to talk about the RRP. And for you people that are new to this, let me show you something. The reverse repurchase agreement. The RRP, or reverse repo, is a sale of securities within the agreement to purchase them at a higher price specific future. So you guys could do a little research on this. I don't want to explain it into great detail, but I'll tell you something. I was sent this because I was talking about this, that they're draining the RRP. And there's a very good tweet that's one of my members sent me, and I got to congratulate this guy, Gordon Johnson, smart guy. because this is exactly what I've been seeing. So he gets it. He gets it. Record amount in October. All the RRP in excess. Dead money. This is the COVID money where they park here. This is all the trillions they printed, which I told you was scripted, and are using it for a later day. So you could just pause this, go ahead and read this very, very good description. Good job, Gordon Johnson. Look at this, Exhibit 6, Chicago, Fed National Financial Conditions. So you guys can just look at this, but here it is, the RRP. Now, if I put this, where is it? Let me show you something. If I line this up, let me line this up. How can I do this? Let me line this up. I'm going to show you something. This is pretty crazy. Hopefully you guys could see it here. So let's go back to April. This is how they're managing a soft landing. Look at this. When we go to April, this is right at the lows, right? You see here, April. Look at April. Then May, it drains, right? As it's draining, price is going up. Where's this money going? Where's this money going? This is silent QE. This is what they're doing. They're using this money to bail out the 1% of their shares. This is what they're doing. And that's why I said, and even in the forum, this looks like the price action looks like it's gamed. Like there's something controlling it. I wouldn't be surprised than AI is. That's why I said ES is trading different. I've said this many times. I think I was one of the first to even say it. Why? Because I'm looking at these screens fucking 10 hours a day. You get to see things that other people aren't because they're not at their screens. You know, it's not as bad, the Russell. But in even commodities, I said it's better to even go to commodities and trade. It's trading, at least it's trading normally. So look at this. April up, right? Just up, right till July, till August, right? April, and we have the bump here, right? And then look, they're managing it. Look, we go here, September. And they're infiltrating a short squeeze too. This was combined with a short squeeze, and what they used to squeeze the shorts was this. This was planned. Take it down while they're managing it, as you see, because I remember I was saying price, take it down, implement as many, and once they got enough short fuel, really drain the RRP, use that money for a huge squeeze while the insiders start dumping into strength in mass. So when I said 2 weeks, guys, this is signs of dumping into strength. This doesn't make sense. Now, like I said, it doesn't turn the next day. That's not how dark pools work. Sometimes they do. But remember, I've said it over and over. It's a piece of information, and personally, the best piece of information you could use, especially if you know how they're used. Now, everybody has their interpretations of using them, but I have mine, and I love using them. And that's why they go so flawlessly with our charts and with our pivots. You know, what are the chances of SPY, the dark pool right here, lining exactly on the line of my top band? Like, I don't pull that out of my ass. Those are institutions that are lined up with my band because I watch where institutions hide. Simple as that. I like to follow institutions, and you should too, because it's the institutions that push this market. Unfortunately, though, the institutions weren't pushing it here. Powell and Yellen were. And this is bailing out. They have millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of shares. Do you understand? And that's just insiders. Then they got to compete with funds that have millions of shares. So there's only a little door. You need this money. This is COVID money that's parked here. This is COVID money. That's why we got inflation. The amount of money that they printed in 2020, I know in Canada, doesn't amount, I think it amounts to 50 years. And in the States, it's ridiculous too. It's not just, it was worldwide. Now, why do you print that much? You print that much to bail out your buddies. That's it. That's what they did. And, you know, someone could be listening to this saying, hey, why do you care? You're a trader. I love people. And I don't like when people struggle. Yeah, we're a trader. We have to work a lot harder than those insiders. Those insiders don't even create anything. They're part of the board. They don't work. You know, a lot of these companies, they don't create, a lot of these funds that pass money around back and forth. What do they create? They don't create nothing. At least us traders, we're here watching this price, watching these screens. You know, like I sacrifice my time. A lot of these other guys insider trade anyway. They're probably not even at the screens. They just get phone calls, do this, do that. Look at Congress. There's another example. They beat the S&P every fucking year. Anyways, well, I got to be here 8 to 10 hours a day. But anyways, so I just wanted to show you this. This money being drained is the soft landing. And this is what they're using for a soft landing. Now, this is about to get drained. I don't know. They're going to drain it maybe. And this is maybe, and that's why I said 2024 is not looking good. It's not. So when I said dumping into strength, there is evidence I was showing on SPY, and it's not just SPY, it's IWM. I can't, look, I don't want to make this video too long. This is already getting long enough. It's already 21 minutes. But I can get into IWM, DIA, QQQ, UPRO, the 2X, the 3X ETFs. They have them across the board. And then you look at stocks. Look, Mark Zuckerberg selling in November. He hasn't sold in 2 years. He started in the beginning of November. Bezos. And those are just two. That's the tip. So when I was saying dumping into strength, I think I'm right. And what usually ends after this, after it's all done, it's not a pretty sight. So I'm just giving you a tip. Do this information, whatever. It's going higher. Okay, yes, of course it can go higher. If it takes out a pivot, it goes to the other pivot. What I'm trying to say is that one day you could wake up, and if you don't trail up your stop long, or you don't take profit along the way and you think there's new highs without taking any profit, which I talk about on a show that it's going to be posted tomorrow. I was on a show, so perfect timing, last week, and the show will be posted tomorrow, which I talk about dumping into strength, and then this sort of information just comes out with basically the biggest week of insiders dumping all year. And then with that SPY 14th biggest print since its inception, that's not the only one. There's IWM, there's the... I don't know when it ends. Like I said, I have a target higher, 36.44, and the T's, as many people know, like to get hit. Majority of times to the tick, by the way. But it doesn't mean it can't go to the L pivot, which is 4,500, or even the A, 4,430, and then back up to 4,600 by the end of the year. Trip those stops, which provides more liquidity for them to dump. Because if we really get a move down now without hitting 46.44, they'll get more short fuel. And then people will put their stop at the high. That's what they do. That's what retail does. Retail, so let's say, for example, SPY. The T is 462 on SPY. So let's say they end it here, which I think they will because it's top of my band in this block. And they bring it back to the L, which is 447. As they're bringing this back, more people would short. And then they'll have short fuel to squeeze them. And they're going to want to trip these stops because there will be liquidity here. The shorts will put their stops just above this typical retail, just above the candle. And there'll be a load of liquidity here. And that's where institutions hunt. They'll come back up, trip these stops, hit the T, and then the real move next year. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. That's a speculation, but I think that's what happens. We'll soon find out. So I just wanted to go through... this... a quick video on the indices and what I mean by dumping into strength, which I've already said about 20 times. Like I said, dark pools are a piece of information. You can go to my YouTube channel. I have a video there on dark pools, and I explain dumping into strength in great detail there and how I use them. It doesn't mean if you see a dark pool, you go right away. It just shows you a piece of information, which I like. The market's all about data and all about pieces of information. Cycles is a piece of information. Elliott Wave, which I don't use, but some people do.
Welcome to the best.
There's, where is it? I got to get that video. I had it here. I wanted to show you where it is on my YouTube channel. Look for it. Anyways, guys, I want to end this video just to say be careful. If you're long, trail up a stop, move to entry, take some profit. I can't tell you what to do, but I'm telling you, I've been there before where you think it's going to new highs and it doesn't, and then you would wish that you took profit. It's always wise to take profit. Always. Always, always, always. All right? Thank you for listening. Let me know. Give this video a thumbs up. I put this video on YouTube. Give it a thumbs up. Share the video. Educate people out there. And please comment below on the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd like to hear what you're thinking. So comments are appreciated below the video. A thumbs up, a like, and a share. I appreciate it. Thank you, traders, for listening.